As far as I'm concerned, the best part of thrifting is finding things that other people have made and then passed on, closely followed by finding things I can use to make my own projects. I'm Michelle. This is my romantic tangle. Look at the cut work. I don't love this little sampler, but the craftsmanship is amazing. And I really thought it would have an inscription on the back. I thought the same about this pencil drawing of a house. Someone should have written something on it. And I don't know that it would mean anything to someone who didn't own that house or didn't draw it, but give us a clue, please. I'm a little obsessed with carnival glass right now. This is the second time I found it in recent weeks. No, I don't know how to tell the real stuff from the fake stuff. No, I don't really care. It amuses me that Goodwill prices carnival glass at about the same price as they want for Dollar Tree plates. How does that make sense? I found a lot of dimensions kits and charts on this trip, which is unusual. Unfortunately, they weren't the ones that I am after. But seeing any cross stitch or any needlework at the thrift store makes me happy. This is a little local charity thrift store. We had avoided this one for years because our first two visits were less than pleasant, but we went back. They have cleaned it up a lot. And I have found some really neat things. Their craft selection is kind of trying to be organized. They're not real clear on their pricing. So I didn't know if that 25-cent tag was the store's or someone's garage sale leftovers. Either way, I had my boys hold it so that I could find out. And I never did really get an answer. That there at the bottom of those shelves, I got my camera twisted wrong. That's an 11 by 17 inch Q-snap. Not that we care, but it is a real Q-snap, branded Q-snap. And everything I bought, the Q-snap, 4 books, the kit, and a PlayStation cord came to $3. So I don't know what the prices were on any of the individual items, but I am more than happy with the total. I found a lace curtain for $1 on our last trip here. There are some diamonds buried in among the rest of it. This throw for $4, that seems like a great price. I wasn't tempted. It's not my color scheme, but I definitely appreciated that it was there. If you can understand this sewing machine table, please explain it to me. I thought at first it was one of those fold-out dining room sets, but it looks like it was meant to hold the sewing machine. But I can't figure out how you would raise it to table height. That is a riser and there's a mechanism there, and I didn't try really hard to figure it out because I still have that feeling that you shouldn't mess too much with things that you know darn well you're not going to buy. One of you has to have seen one of these in proper use. Please solve the mystery and make Quinn and I happy. This little end table was pretty and it looked like that top should open. So I'm guessing it's a sewing table. I don't need any more little sewing tables, but that one is cute as a bug. Then we were over to St. Vinny's where someone had donated a lot of needlework. And I am intrigued by this because obviously this stitcher was very organized and had plans. There were some dimensions kits, there were a couple of just Nan charts, and everything was transferred into these binder page protectors. You can see the fabric and the flosses in there. And she had those little cards on the front, which none of them were filled out, but it looks like she had a plan. Those bunnies were cute, but I doubt I would ever stitch them. She left herself suggestions for what frame she could use. I've got questions. And then I got totally taken in by this quilt. My gut feeling is that it's really old. It's hand quilted. All of those blocks of 4 spools are different dark blue fabrics with tiny prints. This quilt spoke to me. And it was only $7.99. As is, because the stains are hard to miss, but what do you think? I'm telling myself those big stains are rust. The tinier stain is quite obviously not rust, and I couldn't walk away with it. It came home with me. It's going to get its own video later. Then we went over to the Etc. thrift shop because I was kind of hoping they would still have that Morton Salt Dough book. They did. Look at this cross stitch. Look at the detail of that rodeo clown. It didn't come home to me because I cannot even imagine what I would do with it, but boy, I hope somebody saves the stitches and does something wonderful for that. I was needing some crochet thread to tie a quilt that I want to get finished, and this was the perfect inexpensive solution for that. A second set of Q-snaps of the day. These are 17 by 17, and that is not a size that I use, so I left those for somebody else to love. On to the next store, and that is a thrifting first. Haven't seen one of those in a thrift store. I've seen them in antique stores and estate sales. Really pretty mid-century candy dish. They had diamond painting again. This entire box all the way down was filled with finished diamond painting. I don't know how much time diamond painting takes, but that has to be a lot of hours of effort. And look at this. That took so much skill and so much talent, and they left the handmade by part of it blank. That is absolutely the prettiest sampler I have ever seen at the thrift store. Thanks for thrifting with me. Let me know if anything caught your eye. And let me know, would you have bought an old quilt with suspicious rusty stains? Do you have any tips for getting those stains out of that quilt?